So welcome. I was actually going to talk to Mr. Snakes actually about the weather potentially causing up a stir, but we're pleased to say it looks crystal clear for qualifying. But yeah, what's the strategy? I'll ask that to you, Snakes. What would you say is the best strategy around here?
In Italy, because a lot of it is full throttle, over 75% of the lap is full throttle, fun fact, tyres aren't really that much of a factor. You could still probably run super softs and get quite a decent run in if you're looking for that sort of strategy. So different strategies, we're going to see quite a few of those in this race today.
Indeed. Will, I reckon as well, we probably could expect to see some guys in the softs, couldn't we?
Yeah.
Loads of super softs coming out, by the way, as well.
Yeah, I would say super soft, but there is actually one driver on the soft just now. DOR is actually on the soft, but I don't know if that's just a glitch or not, but some cars are actually on the way out now, so we should see something.
Indeed, we're on board currently with the first two. Both the Williams actually have come out pretty much identical, both first out, Welty and Dash, and they only come together there at Curva Grande. That would have ended in a bit of tears for Claire Williams. I'm sure sitting on the pit wall, I'm sure she was probably cacking herself coming through Curva Grande. But they get away with it. Welty is the first out of the two, and of course Welty with that first podium in WXL and P3, and Dash of course challenging contender. So they look like to be pretty much a dark horse. I asked it last week to KJ Gamer saying, do you reckon that Williams could be a threat for your constructors? Because of course AMG Kosher has not had the best season himself, and KJ is pretty much carrying that team, and Welty and Dash have both looked consistent, both look like they're high runners, so they could potentially give them a bit of pepper towards the end of the season. So constructors battle could be something to keep the eyes on between the Williams team and the Mercedes team. So let's see how they go on. We're on board at the moment with Welty. He just come out of Ascari up towards Parabolica. Around, like you said, one of, if not probably actually the fastest track on the calendar, because like you said, JSRSnakez giving us a fun fact, 75% of it's full throttle. I think Marati has immediately gone off the wall there. He's gone too fast into Ascari, and he's in the wall with three wheels.
Wow. It's actually quite good to know as well, DOR is actually out on the soft. So everyone's on the super soft, but the Renault driver obviously feels like he wants to go out on the soft and see what it feels like for grip and just to get to grips with the track. And I don't understand why some of the drivers come out on the harder compound tyre. It's qualifying, it's not the actual race. But maybe he just wants to get a feel for what it's like. He may want to start the race with it, I don't know. It might just be down to strategy basically.
Indeed. Well, it's interesting to note in terms of the tyre strategy. Of course, we've been on the soft combine tyres. You know, it can be a popular option to actually go from the harder tyre to actually to the softer tyre. So then stay on the soft for a longer stint. You know, don't have to worry about too much traffic, and then just go onto the supers at the end and absolutely bomb it. But you could potentially change. You could just be out there to get a feel, like you said. We can't. We're not psychic. We don't know what's going through his mind. We can only say what we see. Which of course he is currently on the soft tyres instead of the super softs. But well, he's just come out of the Ascari section fine. Had just message from Enigmarati saying he lost his back end and hit the wall at 50 miles an hour in Ascari, so he wasn't going too fast, he was going too slow. We're on board Welty. He's just about to kick the times off in the Williams. It'll be a 1:21.7, not too bad from him. What about his teammate PR Dasher though, right behind him? Can he go even quicker? It looks as if he might do. 20.8 from him, so not too bad at all. Here's our trolled reserve driver, this time coming from Parabolica for the first time. As KJ Gamer only managed a 22.1 there on his first lap, not brilliant at all from him. Davey 22.8 in the Ferrari, not too bad from him. Here's our troll up to the line, 22 dead. Beats KJ by a tenth, so not too late to kick off your WXL career. Immediately take over the championship leader in qualifying. Killing up to the line in the Force India, it's going to be a 22.717 for him. Coxon just now coming up with Ascari. Divock O'Connor also doing the same, just now coming up towards Ascari actually, so we've got by Coxie. It's crucial to mention, of course, guys, while we do have a quick moment just before Coxie's lap time does come in, that with 10 men in the lead, it means that if you set a quality lap, you're going to start on them tyres whether you like it or not.
Yep. Oh, I thought Coxie was actually going to pit there. He's not. He's just coming across. P2. Wow.
Fantastic looking at tyre. Also 21 dead. But Dasher is currently faster with 20.8 still. 2 tenths going to leave. Actually, might be on another lap here. He's in max. He's got enough fuel to run to the end. He's about 1 tenth up according to his delta. So obviously how he gets on just now coming towards Parabolica. He's also got his teammate Hannibal AMG Kosher as well in the shot. So there's everyone looking magnificent for you. Isn't that lovely? A nice camera shot. But Dasher, yeah, he is going to cancel line at certain lap. What will it be from him? It's going to be a 20.822. It says at 20.821 there. So make your mind up what you want to do. Whatever lap suits you best is the lap that he's done. But he pops the times even more, and it just secures that pole position just that little bit much. Only a minor improvement. So he's gunning for it early. Snakes, is that the right strategy given the fact that he's just done 2 fine laps on them tyres?
Well, because of the temperature, because normally hotter temperatures, the harder compounds of tyres tend to work better, so softer compounds could actually be a viable option here. And because of how hot the track is, he's worn those super softs a lot more than it would be if it was cloudy. So he might want to do another lap, but only do the one. If that makes sense.
Indeed. Maybe just, I mean, if those are 2 banker laps, 2 laps at the moment will put him fastest, then you've got to say, what is his actual pace going to be? Are we potentially going to see a low 20 from the lad? And that would be quite incredible. Diwal kind of did come up to the line, set at 25.3, but on the soft compound tyres. But, Will, early signs, it's looking strong for the Williams at least, but not very good for the Mercedes at KJ Gamer.
Yeah, I don't know if it's maybe just down to setup or he just doesn't like this track. But KJ's quite, I wouldn't say he's slow, but Kosha it looks like he's having a little bit of a problem going around the S section because he's missing the apexes quite badly. I was actually having a look at DOR as well, the Renault driver. He has 11 laps of fuel on his car, so I think he's going for the longer qualifying stint here.
Dude, such a bizarre strategy. You think we're not in practice, Sunshine. We are. The Q means qualifying. It's not a P. So I don't really know what he's doing at the moment, but he's got about 11 laps on board. And he's just cruising around on the soft. He's currently 3 tenths up. He did find more time in his next lap, to be fair to him. He brought it down to a 24.6, but he's still a good 2 seconds off of Davey. So if I was you, lad, I would just come in, put on a set of supers and just bomb it for a bit. See what you can do. But at the moment, he's guaranteed at least P9, because of course Nick Marati has walloped the wall at Ascari. I say walloped, he hit it at 50 miles an hour, so it's hardly a wallop. So not really too good for him. AJ Kosha did come to the line, by the way, so 22.405. Only 4 tenths off his teammate for the time being, but still P6 for the lad. Beats Killian, Davey and Paul Carter, so not too bad for him. He's just now coming around the parallel. I don't think he's on a lap, no, because he is absolutely cruising it. I did see him short shift at Ascari. Davey has made his way back out. The other Ferrari, of course, one Ferrari is out. I'm sure it's not been a good day for Ferrari so far. In fact, there's their home Grand Prix. One is currently down in P8, and the other is out of qualifying. So I'm pretty sure the Tifosi are not going to be too happy about that. As Davey now comes down towards Ascari. He's just now on his out lap, of course, not going to start like it, but he's interestingly using rich fuel mix for his out lap. That's rather interesting for him. He just now starts to go. Of course, with such a warm track, Snakes, it's kind of crucial to save your tyres a little bit on your out lap.
Yeah, it's just key to not really push that much, and also heavy fuel, because it makes the car heavier, again, results in more tyre wear. So maybe that's why Davey, or whoever it was running in the rich fuel mode to have as little fuel as possible on his qualifying run to get that much, I'm going to say, as little wear of the tyres as possible.
Indeed, thinking about fine margins, Davey, which I rather do like, I've got to admit. That is probably the right way to go about it. But he's currently just over a tenth off of Killian in the Force India, so he's not that far off. He's still in the pits. 3 minutes to go in the session. Dasher has made his way out. Kulkarna just now diving in, so we'll probably see him on a set of supers and actually go for it instead of cruising around about 11 laps of fuel, thinking he is sitting on a nice Sunday stroll. But we're on board still with Davey. But for the moment, I'll quickly pass it over to Will. To actually, I'd like a bit of information about the track, Will. You know, of course we have such famous corners here, and it's such a high-speed track, which is definitely favoured for the guys, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say it is. Where Davey is right now, this is quite a long run into the final corner, so this is usually where the overtakes sometimes, I would say probably 9 times out of 10 this is where they happen. We can see them into the... Oh, Davey's actually lost it and hit the wall.
Oh, dear.
Yep, he's pulled out the lap. He's now just pit. But yeah, well, that's that's actually one of the points I was going to bring up as well. When you're coming around that final corner, it's always good to try and keep as close to the inside where the apex is as possible, and then move to the outside coming out. Because if you hit the green floor on the outside, yep, the car just slides straight away, and as you've seen, you can end up hitting the wall just like David did. But obviously it's qualifying, it won't really affect him too much. But I have seen overtakes going into the S section at the start, which can get a bit messy. It's not the best place to overtake. Also, where Killian is at the moment, there is overtakes here as well for opportunities and stuff. But when you come into this corner he's coming up to, it's quite hard to take the inside line, because obviously the person on the outside has the inside line going into the other part of the corner, and you can be forced out wide. So it's a track where there's multiple opportunities to overtake, but obviously there is going to be places where the drivers feel they can overtake, and it's either going to not end very well, or they're going to make an astonishing overtake, as Dasher actually puts. I think Dasher just nope, I thought Dasher actually improved, but
He's now come around the final
think he did.
corner.
About to.
I've been on board with him
Yep.
all lap, and he is actually on one here. He's on absolute flyer. It's looked beautifully, actually, I've got to say. He's up to the line, sets the pace for us of 20.583, so a mid-20 is up, and he's half a second clear already. He gives tyres from the session and says, yep, I'm happy with that, lad. I'm going to take that and run. KJ is about to start a lap as well. Let's see how our chance that it does get on. Everyone just now making their way to start their final laps. 20 seconds to go, so now it's time to give it all you got. But the benchmark has been set by the American. So first place and last place have retired from the session. So now it's all up to see what the midfield can do. Can anyone upset them? On board with Coxey's just now come up with the second chicane. Bit slidey out there and a bit sort of squirmy, should we say, as he comes through towards Lesmo 1 and Lesmo 2. Checker flag is out. No improvements by AG coach Davey or Kokana. So Kokana will start on them soft compound tyres. What on earth is that man thinking? I have no clue. But he's going to do it anyway. We're on board with Cox, who just now coming towards Ascari. Looking relatively tidy. A few bits of oversteer, but other than that, looks okay. We're a little bit wide there through the final part of Ascari. Slides it again on the run down towards Parabolica. And there's only 11 corners on this track, and this is turn number 11 at Parabolica. One of, if not one of the best overtaking positions to do. Of course, the car will come right back at you towards the first Varanti, the first chicane. But anyway, around the final corner comes Coxey. Get everything you got, lad. Full power up to the line. He's going to set a 21.7. Not quite what he needed, but he just now goes just under a second clear of the Williams and Welty. On board this side, Troll. He's now come around the final corner and on his final lap, short tips up to the line. And it's going to be a 21.6 for him, so just about beats Welty for now. Into P3, fantastic from the new reserve driver. Let's see what Welty can do in response to that. Immediately try and take it back as KJ Gamer only managed to P to them at 20.739. Welty P4 at 21.385. So it's currently mighty close to them. Killian comes up to the line. He manages in the end to take P4. A fantastic lap there. Well, that will do qualifying, and well, Dasher looked untouchable there, Will.
Yeah, I think he was on the pace. KJ gave it a really good run, but I think he was losing a little bit of time coming round the final corner. I think he was sliding a little bit too much, but Dasher he had the pace. It was only by just over 1/10, so there's not much in it. But it's still a really good lap by TR Dasher.
It is the American that tops the charts with the championship rival alongside. So it's 1-2 in the championship, with KJ being ahead of Dasher. But in the race, it is Dasher ahead of KJ, who will come out on top.
Hopefully KJ's fixed those issues he had in qualifying and give us quite a good race.
Yeah, let's hope so. But we are here, as someone has already pressed A, can't immediately jumping the gun and saying, yep, I'm fancy going. I don't care about strategy. Let's just get this done. Dasher immediately does the same. But I'll quickly have a brief moment before we do go to lights out. Snakes, Will, who do you fancy to win?
Do you want to take it first, Snakes?
I'd say TR Dasher, because I know he's got a new wheel, and I saw him making full use of that in qualifying, going full lock into the chicanes. Anyway, here we go.
Here we go. Sorry, Will, we're going to have to briefly interrupt you. We've got 5 red lights are on and they're out and away we go. It's a fairly decent start for the front row men, as well as the lads on the second row. They all come flying down towards turn 1. Cox is looking feisty on the back round towards, that is TR Dasher, but KJ's down the inside of him. He is forced out. He can't go free. One more behind as well. Killing and Wells goes over. Dasher is one wide at turn 1, and he's forced out. And Coxie now tries to take full advantage against KJ in the process. He can't quite do it, but he's just about managed to get in front of his teammate. They're side by side and run towards Curve Grande for the first time. The 2 leaders as well are scrapping away. They're already miles ahead. Welty on the outside and Dasher on the inside. He immediately takes a position on Welty. Sneaks up his teammate. Dash trying to straight back past him in towards the second chicane. He's on Troll trying to get past as well. As they're all forced to skip across. Troll forced to skip across the chicane as well. There's a carnage between the two as the 2 Ferraris have worked their way up into what looks to be 5th and 7th for the moment. Fantastic start for them. Meanwhile, looking further back, there's been a contact as well as they all come flying out of Lesmo 2 for the first time. And it's the 2 leaders already 1.7 seconds clear, with Coxie having the lead over KJ. Will.
Yep, I'm just having a look at AMG Kosha. He's actually got damage on his front wing on the right hand side. He's very close behind Davey as well, so Davey runs really wide.
It's contact!
He just connected with Killian. He's not going to be happy about that.
Meanwhile, Dasher trying to get past Welty in towards Parabolica.
Davey has damage. Davey has damage as well.
The 2 Williams are scrapping away. I'm sure Claire Williams was crapping herself in qualifying. She's now crapping herself in the race. They're about to go side by side and towards the first variante. Side by side they go. It will come out on top, championship leader, or the man who surprised us. It looks like Wells is going to fend on the inside for now. And these 2 are scrapping away. Don't end in contact. Don't do Ferrari at Canada, boys. That's not ending contact. We want to work in the background. You saw Corcana go side by side with Davey there. Davey trying to manage that front wing damage. We did see if it just got past Corcana as well. But out towards the Curve Grande, they come up towards the second variante for the second time, and Dash is trying to go down the inside. Contact round, and the championship contender, just like his front wing, going to tatters. He's got half of his front wing. It's down in last. Meanwhile as well, Enigmarati has come out of nowhere, and the Ferrari, the Tifosi are surely going nuts, because Enigmarati has come from last place up in the 3rd in 2 laps. Fantastic from him, but the Williams going to try and come straight back at him towards a scarring section. He backs off thinking, no, that's just far too stupid, but Enigmarati immediately gets a 3-second time penalty as well. But I'm sure the Tifosi don't care about that, because it's Enigmarati who is now on the podium after sneaking it past because of contact from the Claire Williams lads of Williams Racing. It's gone all wrong for them, Will.
Yep, TR Dasher has massive damage to the left side of his front wing. He will be absolutely raging with how that went. I think DOR was actually slowing down for TR Dasher to overtake him because he had a illegal overtake. He's now, Dasher's actually in.
Dasher is in. That's such a shame to see. From second on the grid, he is now down into first on the grid. From first to last. We normally hear from last to first challenge. This time it's 8 from first to last. He's gone to the medium compound tyres. So we maybe just see him trying to go to the end. 3-second time penalty that was for Dion Corcana for the first time. Corner cut in there, not even multiple warnings. So he must have absolutely butchered the corner there in order to get that. He's currently meanwhile as well. Andrew Kosher has lost out to Killian, and he's actually got front wing damage on that front right himself. But currently, just in case you need a memory fresh, Coxie who still leads a second clear of the Mercedes of KJ Gamer. So currently the man in 3rd place for the championship leads the Grand Prix. Championship leader in 2nd place. Enigmarati doing well in 3rd place. He's already had 1 podium this season. Can he get his 2nd? It doesn't matter if he is, because he's vulnerable towards Welty. Really bad exit out of Ascari. And now I'm sure there'll be boos and whistles coming as Welty tries to go around the outside of the Ferrari man. Can he get it done on him? It looks like he might try. The hands go up in anger. There's a bit of contact in towards Parabolica. Round the outside goes Welty through one of the Warners, which did spot out for us one of a crucial overtake position, and Welty has done it nice and clean around the outside, and he runs advantage to the DRS, I believe. No, it's going to be Murati. He's going to come right back at him in towards the first variante, turns 1 and 2. Can he get back past them immediately and just pretty much undercut him? It's been a contact again under braking as they both try and force each other out. Artie skips across the second turn and just about holds on to P3 for now. ESR Troll has got a front row seat for this, but he just can't get near as Welty now trying to get back round the outside through curve Curva Grande up towards the second variante now. Can he get the move done on the Ferrari? Get finally past on lap number 4. He's going to try it, and he just has to back off under brakes. He wasn't close enough. And it's actually been a contact, and I believe Welty's just lost a shard of his front wing. And he will be struggling now and start to feel understeer. Will ESR Tron, the Red Bull, try and take advantage of this? Welty almost drops it there out of the first Lesmo. But this is some insane battling going on in one of the best known tracks for it.
Yeah, this is actually really. I thought there was going to be some action, but this is a lot more than I think most of us bargained for this.
Indeed it is. Now, Snakes, if we're forming down to this point, like we saw Dash did, what would your strategy be?
Mine would just be go straight onto mediums and just go to the end of the race, see what happens. I think after my prediction, I should just change my name to JSR Jinx. Artie's round.
Oh, he's binned it! Oh no!
Oh.
Artie's just dropped it at Parabolica! And he's going to dive into the pits! I don't believe that! Oh no! So now he's just trying to P3. I'm sure the Fosi right there. I'm just now going to wait to see this Ferrari come down and give him a cheer. But no, he's just darted it into the pits. I do not believe this. Meanwhile, as well behind, Killian has got up to the back of ESR Tron, what is now scrapped for P4. Could you very much see these two buttheads here. Red Bull against Force India. Of course, not full-time Red Bull, because that's actually your seat, Snakes, I believe. So I'm sure you'll be watching this with nerves, hoping to bring your car home. So come towards the second variante. They still just look like the nip and tuck at the moment, but Killian looks like the faster driver. Troll gets a 3-second time over sign of the pressure that he truly has got. Just saw Andy Coaster runs a little bit to the gravel there in the background. Artie onto the medium tyres in other news. In towards Lesbo 2. Killian had a little look in towards the exit of Lesbo 1. But the question is, can he do it now towards Ascari? This would be ridiculous to try and go for it here. But we've seen some more insane moves done in WXL. And we'll see another one here. Here they come up towards Ascari. He does not have anything close enough and now slots in behind. And watch him try and get the better exit out of Parabolica up towards the first variantes at turn 1 and the news, as I believe I might sort of a bit of a fit at the moment, as KJ Gamer has now got under a second towards the race leader of iCoxy. So could we see a potential battle for the lead as those two butt heads? They didn't really have a chance to, because Coxey managed to slide away in those first few laps, and as the race has sort of progressed, KJ really proved why he is challenge leader, started to settle in and close right back up towards this battle between Killian and Troll. Killian's not anywhere near close to Troll up towards the first and second turn. He has a little look on the inside, just looking for his braking zone, trying to spot it, but he's not quite close enough yet. But this race is just the beginning at the moment, Will.
Yep, it definitely is. I'm on board with TR Dasher. He is pulling Enigma Artie in at an immense rate at the moment. Obviously with Artie pitting for the wing change and Dasher already being on the mediums, having pit a couple laps earlier, he is catching the Ferrari driver, but I think it's only on certain bits, and Artie may have the advantage with his tyres being a little more fresher, but we'll have to see as the race goes on, because Dasher's got down to 7.6 seconds. He can see the Ferrari driver in front of him, but he has to try and maintain his composure and just keep going.
Indeed, if there's ever a sign of a man furious in his cockpit, I'm sure Dasher is definitely one of them at the moment. Feels so sorry for the American, but it's just gone all wrong with a bit of contact between his teammate, and now he's got to work his way all the way back up towards the front of the field. Of course, everyone else has driven another stop, so if he can close up as much as he can, he could see himself out in some position. But he's still got to manage them tyres while everyone else is probably going to be okay with a fresher set, put it that way. But anyway, up towards turns 1 and 2 come Coxey and KJ Gamer, and KJ Gamer is now 4 tenths behind him as the Freeze Antonio comes out for DOR Corcana for the first time in the Renault. I believe it's actually second penalty this race, so not really having a nice time of it. And that's one thing we didn't really mention, guys. Corner cut penalties are pretty likely here, Snakes.
Yeah, particularly around Ascari, where just a slight extension, and the curbs are so narrow as well, so you have to get your entry and exit perfect.
Indeed, just
which is also why...
Oh, that's fine, go on.
So that's why you have to be so precise in some of these tracks, and also because a lot of these corners have massive orange sausage curves on them, which can have the potential to actually flip your car if you hit them at the wrong angle, particularly in the second chicane.
Oh, KJ looking feisty on the back of Coxey. He's been closing up as Coxey appears to be struggling with a little bit of tyre wear issues potentially this early on. But anyway, up towards Parabolica, and KJ, I'm sure, can smell fresh blood from that Toro Rosso as he's all over the back of him through Parabolica. They come. Oh, actually, KJ's one wide, and he's in the gravel. I do not believe what I've just seen. Commentator's curse. I don't think he's got any damage though. What a lucky bastard he is. He gets away with it. But that was a huge moment for the championship leader. And he's just seen his chance for the league go away and tash. I'm sure Coxey would probably have an absolute disco in that part, in his party, in anywhere that he is, when he saw that. Because now he's got 4 seconds clear. And that could have just been a race-changing moment, but it's so easy to drop your back end around here. That's pretty obvious it was going to happen, and we were stuck in dirty air. That was potentially going to happen with Tyre getting worse. He just wasn't quite ready for it. Maybe they just dropped just that little bit that he wasn't expecting into Parabolica. But it looks like as if it's going to still be Coxey who leads from KJ Gabbett. Welty looking at potentially going to hold down his second P3 in a row here. Is this man going to be called the P3 man? We'll have to wait. He has got damage on that front left. He's managing it beautifully, I've got to say. Trolled currently P4, Killian P5, Angie Kosher P6, Davey P7, Paul Carl at P8, and Enigmarati and Dasher P9 and 10. And those are the 2 that have stopped. Paul Carl hasn't stopped. I'm sure he's probably struggling on them softs because he set stupid amount of laps and stupid amount of fuel in qualifying. Will, there might be a battle here for P4.
Yeah. Troll's done well. He's holding off Killian quite well, although Killian's still in under the 1 second mark, so he will have DRS. He's just not able to close up on the Red Bull quick enough. So it looks like, well, I mean, we've seen Troll race multiple times. We know he's very capable. So he's pulling off a really good one, but I think it's going to come down to when he pits, and obviously when Killian pits as well. But he's not actually too far from Welty either. He's 2.9 or 3.1 now, but he can definitely see the Williams driver in front of him, so maybe pushing him on for that.
Could we see a throwaway scrap for P3? I certainly would love to see it, let's put it that way. But yeah, you mentioned about pit stops, Will. Undercut, if you were Killian, would you do it being 1.2 seconds behind? Do you reckon that's enough of a margin?
I would probably try and close up as much as possible. I'd probably pit on lap 10, and that way, as long as I'm really close to him, I would actually go for it. But yeah, it looks like we have. Oh, so DOR's actually on the grass.
Hey, he's had a bit of an explore there in the gravel. Having a little excavation, should we say. So
yeah,
I think he got the corner wrong as well. Because he got a 10-second time for there for corner cut, so he must have done something wrong. He must have done something catastrophic. Meanwhile, race leader Coxey has just dived it in. No one 3-second time for Gorkan. He's having a field day. He's going to get disqualified at this rate. But it's Coxey in. Race leader has started to come on lap number 10. Let's see what tyres he goes on to. What do you reckon, Snakes? Was that too early from him? He's now gone on to the mediums.
No, both of them, KJ and Coxey, were starting to struggle on their tyres, especially KJ, who last lap I saw, I'm not sure if it was just dirt on his tyres, he might have cleared it now, but into the first and second chicane he had 2 double front lockups in a row, so he's definitely starting. I don't know if they're overheating or if they've got dirt on them, but if I was him, I'd come into this lap seeing that Coxey just pitted directly in front of him, because he's clearly struggling quite a bit on those.
Sticks on board. He's very gentle at the moment. He's in the sort of caress his car around the track, which is not doing him any justice. Meanwhile, as well, Welty appears to be probably doing the same, because Troll has now brought that gap down by a second, at 2.1 seconds. We'll have to see what he does. Of course, this is a crucial lap for Coxey. He has got clean air. He's 6.2 seconds behind KJ's teammate, ironically, AMG Kosher. But he's okay in terms of the gap to him, so he has got that clean air to use, so he's going to be absolutely bombing it on this outlap. But you can see his gap just coming down towards AMG Kosher. Absolutely rare knots. He's already went down to 5.6 seconds there. And it was about 6, so he's clearly showing that he's absolutely gunning for it in an attempt to try and make sure he does Bob's undercut. But meanwhile, KJ has stayed out another lap. Could we potentially see him go onto the soft compound tyres here, and try and get the move done early in the stint and try and hold him towards the end of the race? Will, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I think after getting over his initial sliding about, he's probably got his composure back a little bit and a change of underwear maybe. Oh, Killian, Trolled and Porsche are actually in the pits at the moment, so maybe KJ was actually waiting for his teammate to pit first. It may not be down to choice, it may actually be down to he wanted Porsche to pit first, as Davy's actually in as well.
He's gone onto the mediums. But interesting, Killian gone onto the soft compound tyres of the Force India. Let's see where Artie comes out. He's going to come out ahead of Kosher and Davey as expected, as will Dasher. As Dasher's starting to very much close up. You can see them, they're all on the shot. You can see the Renault, the Mercedes, Williams and the Ferrari all in the same shot there towards turn 22. Lovely camera shot there. We got to see a nice one there. But interesting to note, Coxey is now 19.9 seconds behind our race leader, which is KJ Gamer. Let's make sure I see if I got that right. Oh, boom, look at that. It's now down to 18.7 out of those 2. So a definite sign that he is loving them at medium tyres. Troll has gone to them. So this is what Crucial mentioned. Troll onto the mediums. Killian softs. Adingmarati mediums. Dasher mediums. Corkana another set of softs. Actually hasn't pit, is he? Sorry, my apologies, he hasn't pit. But KJ's in. Crucially, Mercedes driver, the race leader, has decided to pit. Welty does the same. Now, will we see these two try and attempt soft tyres? It looks like KJ is going to do it. But what about, will he get held by the man at Welty? I think he will just about. He could get a little bit held in his pit box. So that might come at clinical for him. There's Coxey for you, about to come zooming past for the race leader. There's KJ. You can just see him in the pits there. Out of the pits comes KJ. He's going to come out safely in P2. What about Welty towards Troll? Did he do enough on his outlap? It's not as if he's going to. He's still continuing to be relatively behind. It's 20.6 seconds. There is Welty just now coming towards the pits. Meanwhile, Killian is peppering the back of that Red Bull. Meanwhile, Dasher has just been past Enigmarati. I think actually Enigmarati gave him the fair game and said, nope, you can go past. But Dasher now up into P6, so 8 points on the card for him at the moment, given the fact that he had that moment in the wall, which could have potentially not only ruined his race, but also potentially his championship chances. Corkana does now pit, but meanwhile, back towards the battle from P4 between Troll and Killian. Will, this is clinical for Killian to get past early, isn't it?
Oh, yep, he's now, he was thinking about a move down the inside, but I think it's just Dasher's just received a penalty. I think it's just a bit too slidey on the inside when you try and make a move, but as long as Killian keeps his composure, he should be able to make quite a nice move, as long as he can stick with Trolled, and obviously once they make it round the final corner, you can try and overtake him on that final straight. But I think it's going to be difficult because Trolled, he does have a good defence, he knows where to put his car, and he can make it difficult for you. So I think Killian's actually in for quite a hard time to pass Trolled.
Indeed, it's rather clinical for him to get it done before the tyre wear does begin to set in. He's not quite able to do it yet. He's actually dropped back a little bit. Dirty air, I'm sure, came into a bit of an influence in possibly, in fact, probably the most hardest sector in terms of downforce, probably sector 2 and the start of sector 3. So it's kind of likely he was going to drop off because obviously dirty air in these 2017 cars is so annoying, but unfortunately you have to part with it. And that's all you get, unfortunately. You've got to play the cards you are dealt. Unfortunately, that's not a nice card to get. He's got to put up with it, got to get on with it, but he's now starting to close back up towards ESR Troll. Now, of course, ahead of Troll, Welty and KJ both on the soft compound tyres as well. KJ came out 4 seconds behind. A bit of gravel going on there, between a bit of gravel dust going on. Not really too sure. I think it's just Troll running a little bit wide, but up towards the Ascari, both of them come, and it's just not as if it's close enough yet again. He's got to try and just stick to the back of him like super glue through Ascari and try and hold it in towards Parabolica and get the move done. He'll do his best to try and sling his way out on exit, but just look at the dirty air hindrance through there. You can just see it. You can sense he's got the better tyres because you can just see it in the grip, but just the dirty air is just too much to manage for the Force India. But let's see if he can get a move done here through towards Parabolica. Oh, we had a little sniff there because Troll looked rather vulnerable. As Daniel Ricciardo says, he likes them vulnerable, and I'm sure Killian is loving the sign of that Red Bull looking squeamish up towards turns 1 and 2. Troll a little bit onto the dust there, on the inside that is the off part of the track where the track limits are, but Killian closing right up now towards turns 1 and 2. He has a little look to the outside. Troll going to do his best to defend on the inside, though. Of course, he wants to hold him off as long as he can, and eventually he does across. Always been a contact between the two, and Troll while just about defending on the outside towards Curva Grande. They come there side by side. Force India against Red Bull. There's been a contact as well, as Troll sort of shoves him out and shoves it right in his face. He's trying to make a point here in his first race, but don't do that. Don't make too much of a tit of yourself, lad. Up towards turns 3 and 4 they come, and it doesn't look everything goes off. Another bit of smoke goes up. That might be from a bit of someone got a bit off early. But meanwhile, Killian having a look down the inside, in towards Lesmo. Troll was spooked, and now he's going to try and take advantage through Lesmo 1, and he gets it done. 4P4, fantastic from him, and another bit of smoke goes up. That must be from Welty. He must be struggling or something, because that's the second corner in a row we've seen that go up. But a bit of bargy elbows out stuff from Killian and Trolled there, Will.
Yeah, it's just, I think it's just the competitive nature of both drivers. Obviously Trolled's putting his elbows out saying, you're not getting past me, and obviously Killian's just giving him a little bit of a love tap saying, yes I am, move out my way, and eventually I think it's just spooked Trolled a little bit, and he's lost a little bit of his concentration, went out a little too wide, and Killian's just basically said, thanks very much, I'll take that, see you later.
Indeed. Meanwhile, back up towards our two leaders, Coxey and KJ, now under 2.4 seconds between the Toro Rosso and Mercedes. The question is, has he got enough to close up towards him? Let's have to wait and see. So 12 laps to go of this exciting Italian Grand Prix we've witnessed so far. Still all 10 drivers in the lobby. Sadly, Dirwalker kind of has been lapped. Now he's the first man to get lapped, currently 53 seconds behind Davey. So the question is, can it get really much worse for the Renault? We'll have to wait and see. He's just coming for his second stop of the Grand Prix. He's not going to set the soft tyres. He might try and go to the end on them, and he might just come in 1 point. So still 1 point to 1 point. So, you know, not too bad from the Renault driver. Snakes, quick question for you. If you're Trolled now, what do you do? Because, of course, he's still sort of sticking a little bit to the back of Killian, but is that really just his plan to stick to the back until the tyre wear sets in, or do you plan for attack early?
Because of the medium tyres, and he's been on those quite a bit longer than Killian has been on those softs, I'd stick about, as he goes a bit wide, stick about 2 seconds behind him, so you don't get that much wear from dirty air, and just wait for a mistake, really, like Killian did.
Indeed, he seemed to pick his moments there. KJ sets a fast lap over 23.450, I think I said. I might have been blinded, I might have just missed that. I only briefly got to see a quick panning shot. I had to hope my eyesight was good enough. Let's see if these glasses do actually do the trick. But anyway, Welty's now dropped 6 seconds, by the way, behind KJ again. So he's still got that front wing damage. He didn't actually get it fixed in the pits. And to be honest with you, if I was in P3, I wouldn't have as well. It was probably the right call for him. Killian's not able to catch up at the moment. Troll's still sticking to the back. Dasher, by the way, the other Williams, he's currently in this sandwich that they have of a beautiful filling of Force India and Red Bull. I'm sure you can't buy that from Subway. But he is currently 6 seconds behind them two, with Killian and Troll at 5 seconds clear behind Welty. So fairly sort of sizable gaps, but that's pretty much around this track. That's like one start-finish straight, so you can also see them in a panning shot, which does look beautiful and lovely. But anyway, a second currently separates two. Another bit of smoke goes up, and that's Dirwalker can't have in a moment, and he's out. So we haven't got 10 men anymore. We got 9, as he just binned it at Lesmo 1. Pretty much done what looks like Lewis Hamilton did in 2007. I actually remember 2009, sorry, with 3 laps to go, where he walloped the wall in P3. Sorry, Hamilton fans, but I do remember that very well. I actually watched that Grand Prix live. But anyway, up towards the two leaders we go. KJ against Coxey. And in terms of pitting wise, of course, Coxey came in around about lap 10. KJ came in around about 12. So about 2 laps of pit difference. Is it the same story again in terms of what it's like with Troll and Killian? In terms of KJ and Coxey there, Will?
Yeah, I just think Cox is losing a little bit of time to KJ behind him. KJ is gaining really fast, so I think whatever KJ is actually doing, it's definitely working for him. But Cox's plan may need a little bit of adjustment. Every time he takes a corner, he's just taking it a little bit too wide, getting on the apex, and he has to kind of correct the car to stop it from skidding. But he's still holding it, as KJ is definitely hungry for that place, and it looks like Coxey's going to have to be on his toes in this one.
Indeed, he's out of a Ascari. They come up towards Parabolica. KJ looks really feisty on the back rim. He's just sticking to the back rim. And in the end, Coxey takes that racing line. So instead, KJ advancing the inside towards Parabolica. He backs out, whether that's stretch, and then just try and go from him to turn 1 and 2. And think about picking and choosing his right moments out of Parabolica. We saw him bin it there last time when it was all about Coxey. This time he hasn't. He's got it right. Now just don't bin it for the rest of the move, lad, and you'll be fine. Up towards turns 1 and 2 they come. Toro Rosso against Mercedes. Who will come out on top? Coxey against KJ. KJ has a little look to the inside to try and break as late as he dares. He can't quite do it because Coxey defended that inside line and he tried to go for a move that realistically wasn't there. He should have probably gone to the outside, then had the inside line for turn 2 and then squeezed him out on exit, but instead he tried to do that. It didn't quite work out, and now he's got to pick and choose his moments again. He is now yet again another half a second behind and he's picking out the laps. The laps are counting down and the tyre wear advantage is going to start to kick in sooner rather than later. Out of the turns 3 and 4 they count towards Lesmos at 1 and 2. Firstly 1, let's see if they can get it right. We saw Corcana bin it there at Lesmo 1 and we've seen Coxey run so wide so many times. KJ runs a little bit wide as well and through Lesmo 2. Coxey again runs wide and just tries to power it on exit, and that's constantly spinning up his rear tyres and he's having to sort of save it as if he's driving in wet conditions. He's drifting about. This isn't formally a drift, lad, this is Formula 1, so you're in the wrong sport, my friend. Through Ascari they come, and just look at KJ to get the 3-second time penalty. He's off the track. They were both off the track, one on the AstroTurf, one on the extra bit of road on a run-off area. Up towards Parabolica they come. KJ still not quite close enough to get for a move done on Coxey. Round Parabolica they come for the 18th time this will be. Up towards a long run at 1 and 2. Can he come at him now? Can he potentially do exactly the same? Can Coxey defend it like he did last lap? At this time it doesn't like KJ's just quite close enough, but watch out for a surprise dive bomb and him pepper him and say hello and catch him absolutely napping. He can't quite do it because he just doesn't quite have the straight line speed. It looks like as if maybe Coxey might have gone for a bit of a low downforce setup than KJ, which of course around a track like Monza is clinical for defending in the race instead of qualifying. But can we expect to see a move here? We'll have to wait and see. But for now, it's still Coxey who leads from KJ, and the tyre wear is surely going to be setting in sooner rather than later, Will.
Yeah, it's quite good running on board with KJ Gamer when he got really close to Coxey. Coxey didn't panic. He also didn't choose the inside or outside. He actually put the car in the middle of the track. So KJ had to try and decide go inside or outside on that Toro Rosso. He couldn't choose in time, so he ended up stuck behind Coxey. And when Coxey went in the corner, he basically just closed the door for KJ and his decision was gone. So amazing defence from Coxey. Amazing defence.
Indeed, very strategic from the lad, parking it in the middle of the track. Of course, rather wide track here, but he did it to perfection and parked it just in the right place where going on the inside seemed a little bit off marks, going on the outside seemed a little off marks. We've done it beautifully, but here we go again, up towards turns 1 and 2. KJ is definitely closer this time, but he just doesn't like it again. He might not be very much close enough, but he is. He's closing up. He is charging towards him, and he does try and go to the inside. He breaks so much later, and he'll be onto the strip-off area. He just about manages to get it done, and he takes the lead of the Italian Grand Prix on lap number 20 with an absolute late-breaking move. Break as late as you dare, the old saying goes, but he broke as later and probably a little bit more than he dares. I guarantee that cockpit is no longer silver following that move. That is probably brown after that. That was an unbelievable late lunge from him, and he went to the inside when Coxey looked to have it secured and knocked down as he did the first time, but KJ was confident to power through and make his way, and now he has the race lead and he has a chance to call himself a victor yet again. But what about penalties? Snakes, I'll quickly come over to you. Talk us through it. Who's got the advantage?
Obviously KJ, because he's on fresher tyres and he's ahead, plus Coxey is now going to have that dirty air as well. So the best thing Coxey can do now, again, is just stay about 2 or 3 seconds behind so he doesn't get affected that much by the dirty air. Keep his tyres in fresh condition and wait for a possible mistake from KJ if he does make one.
Indeed. Now, Will, having a look at penalty for you. Let's see who has the advantage. So KJ is currently on 1 penalty. Coxey, so how does stop go from his first stop? So I don't know if that's going to get added on.
But he has no penalties, so KJ is going to have to pull away with more than 3 seconds. He has 1 penalty, and Coxey has, I believe he has a couple of warnings. He has 1 warning. Sorry, 1 warning plus 2 warnings. So he doesn't have a penalty yet, but he's obviously very, very close to having a penalty. so he has to watch what he's doing. But if he can stick with KJ, he may actually win this on penalties.
Indeed, he's on thin ice though. He's got to make sure he doesn't do anything stupid and ends up getting a penalty. Of course, Scari's so easy to cut around this track, so watch out for him trying to take that very conservatively every single time. He's now 1.2 seconds behind the race leader, but the laps are ticking down and the tyre wear will soon start to kick in. We've got around about just over 6 laps to go with this Grand Prix, so we're getting towards crunch time in this Grand Prix. Meanwhile, further behind, Dasher starting to close up towards ESR Troll. That is for 5th place, and a chance for him to sort of salvage something from nothing really after we saw him in the wall at turns number 3 and 4. Through, we're on board lovely with Cox, a lovely helicopter shot as we see all the trees and all the stands as they come through towards Parabolica. Of course, rather out in the sticks, the Monza Grand Prix at Italy, so you've got to say he's rather out of it. But anyway, it's now about a second, so if Cox can get him in the DRS, that will help him keep towards. But he hasn't quite got it yet, he's not quite close enough, but he's under a second now. So, Snakes, you said about 2 to 3 seconds, but of course, you still want to have DRS on a track like this.
Yeah, by how both cars were running when they were battling against each other, KJ was struggling to keep up to Coxey even with the slipstream. He didn't have DRS, it was between Ascari and Parabolica, but it just shows that KJ is running quite a bit more wing than Coxey is. And also, you said out in the sticks there, not to be a bit of a bobblehead, but I've been to Monza. It's surprising to know that this is actually in the middle of a town.
Well, don't I look like a tit?
You wouldn't think so.
You wouldn't, with all these trees around. You'd think you'd
Nope.
sitting in the middle of a forest, but nope. Turns out it's.
Biasano.
Oh, it's nice to know you've been there. Actually, well, we've got a brief moment. Where did you sit?
I sat on the exit of Parabolica just before the pit exit.
Lovely view. I think I had an absolutely lovely view. We're all going down the straight. all
Saw
coming out
both
Parabolica.
of the McLaren Hondas having problems. That was quite funny because his stepdad supports McLaren Honda, so we got to laugh at him. And the Red Bull with the puncture.
Yeah,
That was
certainly one.
yellow flag.
Board for action. Coxey's binned it! Right where you were sitting, lad! Right where you were sitting, he has binned it!
Oh.
And Wellesley has just snatched P2! That is so ironic! Oh, that is laughable, that is. I feel so sorry for Coxey. We've got about 5 laps to go. He's just dropped it at Parabolica. But just you were talking about where you sat and what you saw there and all the problems with McLaren Honda and stuff like that. Toro Rosso just had an awful moment at Parabolica and now he's down in the P3. I do not believe this, and surely KJ could go on to win the Grand Prix now, and he's got nothing to worry about. He's 9 seconds clear of the Williams, and he's basically just done exactly what KJ did in the first stint, and he's dropped it right when he was behind the other car. So a bit of karma, shall we say, between the two. And in the end, it's ended awfully for him. Meanwhile, Coxey gets a 3-set time. That's probably from anger and thinking, oh, this is bloody crap, this is. I don't know how Coxey speaks. I've never spoken to the lad. I'm sure he's a lovely lad in real life. I'm sure he does not speak like that. But he's probably absolutely livid in that cockpit. And again, he almost drops it there as he's trying to close up towards Welty with these few laps to go. He has not got a 3-set time to watch out for. Meanwhile, in a freeway scrap potentially for P4 between Killian, Troll and Dashers, Troll kisses the wall there on the back straight towards Mascari. How on earth he managed that? It's a flat out tiny kink left. I have no idea, unless he's literally just decided, I'm bored now, bang into the wall. I'm not too sure, but he's now under a second, so in actual fact, somehow that's helped him through Ascari. Somehow that's given him just maybe that extra bit of aerodynamics. Maybe Red Bull have some sort of mystery. If you knock off a little bit of front wing towards Ascari on lap number 24 out of a Lesmo 2, you get a bit more of an aero damage and a bit more of an aero advantage towards Ascari. I have no idea, but it seems to have worked out for him because he's now closing that gap, but he's also got to watch the Williams behind him of TR Dasher with 5 laps to go for these guys. So not long at all left in this Grand Prix up towards turns 1 and 2. Come all 3 of them. There's Killian, there's Troll, there's Dasher. You can also see 3 of them in the shot, I'm sure all 3 of them fancy that chance to come in with 12 points and potentially as well, by the way it's going, potentially coming with 15 points if it continues the way it is. Coxey having a little moment, but again he's caught right up towards Welty. It was about 2 seconds, that's 1.4, so he's definitely closing up, and actually KJ looks like it's nice and tightly wrapped up in a nice bow, which we didn't really expect. Not at all. No one really expected that. Will, I can't be the only one to say I did not expect this coming.
No. Obviously, we want every driver to do well, but only one driver can win, and it's when all the drivers have, I wouldn't say equal skill, but they have I'd probably say as close to the same pace as possible for especially the top 5 or 6 guys. It's just, it can be crazy sometimes, and obviously with stuff happening during the race with Coxey losing it, he doesn't have wind damage as well, so he's been lucky with that one. But Welty obviously been promoted to P2, who I've got to say I'm impressed. He's just had such a great last couple of races. It's just been, everything's went well his way. He actually goes a little bit wide coming into the S
Meanwhile as
section
well, Killian trying to defend off Troll through turns 1 and 2. There's been a wheel bang in between the two, and Dasher trying to get himself involved. He actually kisses the back of the Force India, kissing the arse, shall we say. They're trying to get free one towards Curva Grande. That is unbelievable. Contact between all three, and Dasher is off, and Killian are off. I do not believe what I've just seen. And going up back towards these two. Welty and Coxey are scrapping away as well, but these two continue to come together. Dasher and Killian have come together in a huge crash down Curva Grande. I'm sure a bit of insurance components to that after the Grand Prix. There's a 3-second time penalty picked up, but 3 wide into Curva Grande. That was silly from them. That was never going to work out for all 3 of them. But they've just about, and Troll is all of a sudden up in the P5. I'm sure he's counting his lucky stars because you just saw the pair of them coming together. KJ 3-second time penalty on the final few laps. Not as winning him out for him. He's probably having a cup of tea at the moment. He's that far clear. I don't know if the lad drinks tea. He could be a coffee drinker. Who knows what he is? He could be whatever the hell he likes. He could be Gatorade. I don't know. Anyway, back towards this battle for P2 between Coxey and Welty. One final scrap here. Can Coxey recover from the ashes that have seen him burn away his chance for the race victory, which is a small mistake at Parabolica? We'll have to wait and see. Up towards turns 1 and 2 come Welty and Coxey for the penultimate time. 2 laps to go in this Grand Prix. Williams against Toro Rosso. It will come out on top. Coxey's going to have a little look on the inside. He tries to brake later, but it just wasn't that close enough in order to go for a dive bomb. And now he's a little bit hindered through turns 1 and 2 and powers his ways out towards Curva Grande. 2 laps to go. Do not forget Killian pits on the penultimate lap just for throwing down. That means they right. So we have a P6, potentially kosher P7 as well. So will we see the Mercedes coming with an alright decent points? In fact, his teammate is currently grabbing the race victory, potentially up flagging sector 3. Who have we had there? Davies had a bit of a moment out of Ascari. So the Ferrari has had a brief moment, which means that's not doing him justice, given the fact his teammate's currently in P6. It's not been a good day at all for Ferraris. But meanwhile, Welty 1 wide, and Lesmo 2, and Coxey comes in and sneaks it from the Williams out of absolutely nowhere. Sure, Claire Williams, he probably just had a heart attack as he just seen him dropping on the penultimate lap. Up towards Ascari they come. I bet Frank Williams is probably regretting the choice picking Welty for his team because he's just bottled it with 2 laps to go. The question is, can he get that position back, and can he potentially grab P2 and then have a 3rd and a 2nd to his name in 2 races, or will it be a 3rd and a 3rd? Either way, it'll still be good results. He's been nice and clean and consistent. The question is, he's got 1 more lap to go. Can he get past? Out of Parabolica they come. Here we go. 1 more lap. This is it. Count the corners, guys, because he's running out of opportunities. Up towards 1 and 2. He's just counting and counting as the laps and the corners come down. As Welty's shifted to the inside and going to try and get past the Toro Rosso of Coxey. He brakes later and he might have it. It's been a contact, a bit of half spin. But Welty corrects himself, gets P2, and he's done it. He doesn't need to count down the corners because he's done it. Question is, could Coxey come back at him now? That's going to be crucial for him. Through Curva Grande for one final time. Up towards turns 3 and 4. The 2nd Verante. Through they come, skipping across the sausage curve like crazy. They power their way out for one last time. Up towards Lesmos. And Coxey's having a little look running outside as Welty. Immediately went defensive. Through Lesmo 1 they come. For one more time. Now Lesmo 2. Who's going to come out on top? We don't know. Out of the straight they come towards Ascari. One last time. If there's ever a time to go for a move, Ascari, it's the final lap. Other than that, it's a stupid decision. Will Coxey look at it? He is going to look down. He's on his guys. He's shifted back. He's picked up damage and he's spun. I do not believe I've just seen. And Troll nicks P3. But meanwhile, KJ Gamer has done everything he needs to do. He weaves up to the line and claims a victory yet again and extends his championship out even further. Fantastic from him. Welty in the end is going to somehow, after all the carnage that has gone on, he is surely going to come out with P2 in this Grand Prix. Fantastic from the Williams. But what about Troll? Out of nowhere, he is on the podium. And he's going to come home with P3.
Oh, Coxey is.
But Coxey takes it back due to penalty. There's a massive crash over the line between Dasher and Coxey. That is quite incredible. Dasher loses out the Troll by half a second, But in the end, it's Coxey on the podium.
Artie's
Troll
coming up to
misses
this.
out by a second. Artie 6th. And it's going to be AMG Kosher going to take 7th. And Killian in 8th. And that will do the Italian Grand Prix. Well, what a carnage final few laps there, guys.
Yeah, Welty just, wow. The battle between Welty and Coxey, that's just, to me, that was probably one of the nicest moves I've ever seen someone make from Welty, when he dove down the inside and didn't really give Coxey a chance to come back at him, and just took the place with authority. It was just an amazing move, an amazing move.
Indeed it was. Snakes, any further thoughts from yourself?
No, not really. Just other than the fact that I'm a massive jinx.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because who did I say was going to win the race at the beginning? And who crashed on the first lap?
Yeah.
Dasher.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong. It doesn't look good for you, does it? I mean, I don't think we're going to ask you your future predictions because that ended in tears. But there's your podium for you.
I'll just keep my mouth shut next time.
So there's your podium. KJ Gamer with 6 seconds of penalty and takes the victory. Welty with no penalties to his name, and the Williams takes P2. Coxey, in the end, after all the carnage that there was, he comes home in P3. ESR Troll in his debut, P4, just missed out on the podium. You've got to feel sorry for the lad, but he just about holds on to P4 because Dasher missed out by half a second in the end. But it's Dasher in P5 for the Williams, so after being down in last place, not a bad recovery. Enigmarati in P6, AMG Kosher P7, Killian P8 with Davey P9 in the end, and Jolien Palmer, aka DIY called Kana, ran out the field. So 10 started, 9 finished, that's not too bad. But let's get these guys in to give them their thoughts, and I'm sure Welty as a man is going to be rather shocked because he didn't expect to be on the podium again for a second week, but here he is again. So, but this time it's second, so how about that? Like a little upgrade. Isn't that nice for him? But let's get these guys in. Firstly, let's start with KJ. I know
KJ and Coxey.
Coxey won't be able to get in, unfortunately, because he does not have a microphone.
No.
Where is... Oh, yeah, Welty's got to go into the second account, hasn't he? I forgot. There's KJ. If you don't want inviting Welty's second account, obviously I know he has to use that. It would be appreciated. Whilst we have a moment, though, I suppose we'll quickly start with the podium questions. Of course, we'll start with our race victory. We'll start with our race victor, shall we? That's what I should say. No correct English, Jack. But yeah, KJ, you're on the top step again, but it wasn't as easy this time.
No. What happened in that race? I qualified second, didn't I? And then no, what happened? Oh yeah, through 10-2, I was looking behind. What was I think Asher and Welty came together or something, and there's a massive gap, and I looked behind around to the grass, and I let Coxey through. But yeah, that was a fun race. That move on Coxey was on the limit.
It was. It certainly gave me a bit of an excitement. I'm sure. I don't know if you heard the commentary, but I had a bit of a scream, shall we say, behind the microphone. I'm sure these guys didn't appreciate that. I'm sure they're probably starting some paracetamol at the moment because I pretty much shouted down the microphone as you've gone for that move.
Nope,
but
I'm used to it.
yeah, I'm sure you are. I'm sure you probably bring a pair of ear mufflers behind your earphones for the race because you know what's coming. But yeah, of course, championship lead, extend that even further. Of course, it wasn't the day Dasher was looking for with that early bin in early on in the Grand Prix. I think it was about lap 2, lap 3. I don't think it was lap 1, which he did come together with his teammate, which you could say brought a few opinions up from him. I'm sure he wasn't very much appreciative of that. But now you've extended your lead out even further. You continue on your podium streak, by the way. So you're now 5 races on a row where you've been on the podium. And my second question comes for you because I can't really ask you about the championship because you're doing so well in it. How long do you reckon that's going to last with Singapore, Russia, Malaysia, your next 3 races?
Hope it'll continue as long as it can, to be honest. This was my bad race, and I won it, so yeah. we'll see. As I said last week, I think Russia is not very good for me. I know Dash is good at Russia, so we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing that one. Hopefully, maybe a chance of a good fight between you as well. Hopefully, Coxey as well. Of course, Welty and a few other guys can get involved, because there are guys out there who I'm sure are eager to have an opportunity to try and work their way up. Now, final question for you before we do bridge and move on. It comes to actually about the constructors. I did mention last week, Williams with their consistency together with Dasher and Welty do look strong, with AMG Kosher not quite there. But this week he did outscore them, because AMG Kosher, I believe, came around about P6, P7. If any lads can remember that, please let me know, because I picked
He came 7th.
Thank you very much. Even you keep an eye on your teammate. I like that. That doesn't mean you outscore them, because they came in with exactly 25 points, and of course you scored that within yourself, which does mean you extend your lead out only marginally, but it's still close between you two. Would you say it is a 2-horse race, or do you reckon like the Red Bull, Toro Rosso and Sauber could potentially get back in it?
I haven't looked at the championship, but from memory, I think it's probably a 2-horse race from now on, because I believe Taurus has only got one driver of Coxey. Ferrari hasn't really got, they're not really scoring at the points they need at the moment. But yeah, probably just between Mercedes and Williams at the moment. You know, it's very close, that race, there's only a few in it, so if Dasher had, or if they hadn't come together, I think they probably would have outscored us.
Yeah, indeed. Unfortunately, they didn't. So that does mean that they extend the Champions League. I'm sure. I say unfortunately. I'm sure it's nice, unfortunately for you, because you're looking for the double in the first season of the WXL. But yeah, congratulations on the race victory. Will, Snakes, any further questions you guys have towards our race winner?
Not for me. Just congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Yeah, not me either. Good job, mate.
Thanks.
There you go. Nice pats on the back from our other commentators, as per usual. But it was swiftly along towards the man who actually said last week he wasn't expecting this, but he's here again. To everyone's surprise, the Williams driver of Welty makes it 2 podiums from 2. Welty, first question for you. Obviously, first of all, congratulations on the second place again. But my first question comes to you about the I'll say controversial bit of contact between yourself and your teammate. I'm sure I've said it numerous times on the stream. I'm sure Claire Williams probably didn't appreciate that one bit. But yeah, take us through it from your point of view.
It's a difficult one. I honestly, hand on heart, have no idea what happened. I think it was lap 2. I was not driving well. In qualifying, that was a bad lap. Didn't start very well. It was going badly, and it was deflating, really. And then it came to lap 2, and Dasher was all over me, and he just had the pace. I realised, and I did say to myself at the time, yeah, I'm gonna let him through next time. He's close enough. But obviously, I said that while we were side by side into a chicane, and then so I thought I'd gave him room. I thought he'd pop out behind me. However, he was just. I came through the first Lesmo, looked behind again. He was absolutely nowhere. I didn't know where he'd gone or what had happened. So I looked at one of you three to tell me what happened, because I don't actually know.
I'll be honest with you. I was so much involved in the moment, I can't remember it myself. I was just going too much nuts on the commentaries. I just saw Dasher spin out and just watched the championship lead. I believe I said something like his championship hopes have just done what his front wing has, something like that. Like they've just broken or something. I can't remember what I said, but yeah, it was a clinical moment. Let's put it that way. Now, of course, you probably were expecting P3 in this race. You drove consistent all race to pretty much grab P3 in the end. But on the final few laps, Coxey somehow just dropped it at Parabolica, which, I mean, surprised us all, because we were busy talking about, if you haven't watched the stream, Snakes was busy talking away about where he actually sat when he went to the Italian Grand Prix. And ironically, when he did that, Coxey actually binned it right where he said he did. But you must have been just as surprised as we were, because we were not expecting that.
Yeah, I was I was fully set on the old P3. I was like, yeah, that's all right. I was aiming for a podium. Didn't think I was going to get it, but yeah, I was happy with it. And then KJ got passed, and then he suddenly came on the radio in the party and saying just saying really panic. I thought he'd spun because he was like talking so urgently. It's like just telling me Coxey's spun like the whole way around, and I might be able to get him. So I did do by about 2 seconds, I think, in the end. Nearly crashed into him on the way past, actually. But
I know, I did see that, and that was a heart in your mouth moment.
I didn't know where he was going to go, so so I just kind of picked the right hand side, and it turned out okay. But defending from him afterwards was quite difficult. I'm not sure how he feels about my defending because the body language of his car looked like he was getting a bit annoyed. I thought I was within my rights personally, but that's of course, the driver always thinks he's in the rights. So yeah, I thought I defended it quite well, to be honest. But that's for everyone else to judge, I suppose.
Yeah, indeed. Now, my final question for you comes to you about, of course, chat. Of course, this is your second podium in a row, and the only position you have finished was 6th place, I believe. But of course, now you don't actually move up in the championship, despite the fact you did finish 2nd. But you do now move up behind 1 point behind our man who has unfortunately had a broken wheel and is out for a few weeks, which is JSRSnakez. And you are actually in that. There's a little scrap between himself and VRT Emerald and Harley Hyde, and a few guys in there, which actually sort of propels you up in a P4. Do you reckon that is on the cards for you potentially, P4 in the championship, given the fact you joined so late and you just keep getting strong results?
I can't actually believe that I'm in P4 after just completing 2 races. To be fair, they've gone quite well, so it's not totally unexpected. But it is like I've only done 2 races, so and I'm only doing this just for a little bit of fun. To be honest, it's not my most serious leagues that I do. So yeah, I'm quite happy about it. I think the constructors is definitely still on. Me and Dasher don't come to blows again. Can I just say something about the Dasher incident, by the way?
Of course. Go ahead.
Right, so I think it was on lap 2, and here's my explanation why I was defending, because I thought the top 3 were all really close in qualifying, and I had a bad lap, so I thought I could stick it with them guys, but Dasher was obviously faster than me, and I was kind of coming to terms with the heavy fuel and so on and so on. And Dasher was clearly quicker than me, and as I say, I was definitely going to let him through at the end. I wasn't going to defend like mad on lap 2. I mean, I was defending, but I don't think it was anything like too outrageous, to be honest, because I mean, on the first lap, it's really hectic because it's so difficult to pass, and I just wanted to get ahead of everyone who I could. So I feel like I did that. I don't feel like I was being unfair to Dasher. Like, he seems to think so. So that's just my opinion on it. I don't think I was too out of my rights to just defend for my teammate for just 1.5 laps.
Yeah, indeed, it's so short in the race. You've got every single right to defend. But I said it earlier on when you two were scrapping away before you did come together. I said don't do a Ferraris at Canada. Now I'm sure you won't know what that is, but in the WXL, Ferrari, which was the team of Heskey and Artie, ironically the two owners of the league, and they came together twice in one race, being teammates and owners. So it didn't go too well for them, let's put it that way. That's not really what they wanted, but hopefully we don't see that out of yourself and Dasher, because otherwise, well, the chances of trying to take the double away from Mr. KJ Gamer look very much like as if they might be abroad. But we will move swiftly along. Any further questions for our man who came home in 2nd place today from JSRSnakez or Will?
Not for me, just congratulations on P2, but I did like some of the moves. Some of the moves you were making, some of them were quite brave. But you had a decent run, so you're on the podium again. No faults, so well done.
Cheers. I'll have to watch the stream back and see how it looks from the outside because, as I say, I don't feel like it was too outrageous, but we'll see.
Indeed, I'm sure there'll be a steward's inquiry. I don't know where Snakes is going.
Yeah.
No. I was just going to say exactly what Will said. So.
Well, there we go. 2 lovely responses as per usual. That will conclude us for round number 9 here in the WXL first season here at the Italian Grand Prix. And, well, we finished the Classic Tour with a classic, really. It was fantastic to witness and fantastic to commentate on. Will, Snakes, I do thank you very much for joining me in the com box, my friends. It has been a pleasure.
Thank you. As usual.
Good to see. And, of course, well, like I said before, it was a brilliant classic, and we now move on swiftly towards a bit of an Asian tour for the Singapore Grand Prix, along with Russia, if you want to actually count that. It's technically in Europe because of the position of part of Russia it is in, and then finally Malaysia. So whatever you want to say, really, but we're in for a treat for the next few races. We come to a bit more of a modernised tracks compared to the classics. But that will conclude that, and, well, KJ Game at 50 points clear in the championship. What more could you ask from the Mercedes? Maybe make it 75 next week, lad. But that will conclude that. Thank you guys very much for watching. We'll see you next time, and goodbye.